Is Brazil the best country to celebrate New Year's? Well, in my opinion, it's definitely near the top. So if you Google the best places to celebrate New Year's, at the top you've got New York, then you've got Sydney, Tokyo, and then in fourth place you've got Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. And then you've got Edinburgh, Paris, Berlin, and Dubai. Now I don't agree with this list. I mean, I much prefer celebrating New Year's in a hot country like Brazil than standing around freezing my butt off watching some fireworks in a cold country, that's for sure. And it isn't just temperature as well. It's also the fact that, in Sweden and many other in the northern hemisphere, it gets really dark early as well. So it's a combination of things. And here in Brazil, it's just totally different. Because it's hot, you can be out the whole day and in the evening, and it gets dark late. You can go to the beach if you want to and have parties outside. So in my personal opinion, for me, I just feel a lot more relaxed and just have a better time celebrating here in Brazil than I did in Sweden and the UK and many other countries in the Northern Hemisphere. And to be honest, actually, I found New Year's quite depressing, actually, in Sweden. Because you're just kind of inside, so you got a small party in your home, or you go to a restaurant, a pub, or a club or something, and you just kind of drink the night away, and that's about it. And you're also kind of just thinking about the next couple of months where you kind of got nothing to look forward to. It's just going to be cold and dark and snow. While here in Brazil, it's completely different because in January, February, March, you can go to the beach and enjoy yourself, and you've got Carnival coming up as well, the Carnival celebrations. So it's a totally different vibe here in Brazil, that's for sure. And then in terms of what Brazilians do for New Year's, so a lot of them, they head to the beach. And so you've got this massive exodus of millions of people leaving the cities to travel to the beach at Christmas and New Year's. But with so many people heading to the beach at the same time, that does cause some problems on the roads. So you can get some really big traffic jams on the motorways. And also the small beach towns can also get very congested with traffic. So that can be a problem if you don't organize yourself and travel at the right time, that's for sure. And also you can see some funny things as well on the motorway as well, as people pack up their cars, fill them with lots of stuff, even mattresses on the roof and stuff. And yeah, I've been shocked by some things that I've seen on the motorway at New Year's. And then it's very common here in Brazil for people to spend the whole day, so the whole of New Year's Eve, at the beach. So they head off to the beach with parasols, gazebos, beach chairs, cooler bags full of beer and champagne, and they just sit at the beach the whole day, enjoying themselves, listening to music, eating, drinking, and some even stay there until the evening, till the New Year's celebrations at midnight. I really like the beach, but not that much. But with so many people going to the beach at this time, the beaches can get really busy. So this here is Itapema, which is a beach in Santa Catarina. So this used to be a small, quiet town, but then recently it's grown significantly, and the result is that the beach gets super busy. And this is Bombinhas, another beach, and Santa Catarina again gets super busy. And you got the same thing in many other areas. So a lot of the beaches in Rio de Janeiro as well, and Sao Paulo, and further north as well get very busy at this time. And then the evening on New Year's Eve, you have lots of parties, music events, and also fireworks at a lot of the big beaches. So I mean, the most famous one in Brazil is the New Year celebrations on Copacabana. I did that one time, and I'd probably say one time is enough for me. I mean, it depends what you like, but I just felt it was just too busy. So apparently up to 2 million people go to Copacabana Beach at New Year's to celebrate, and they've got these massive music stages and lots of parties on the beach, and it's just crazy. I'm glad I did it one time, but that's probably enough for me. And it isn't just in Rio, you've also got it in many other beach cities. So Balneário Camboriú, I think close to 1 million people celebrate New Year's there. Again, lots of music, fireworks. You've also got it in Florianopolis, and then further north as well, in Recife, Fortaleza, João Pessoa as well. But not all Brazilians celebrate New Year's at the beach. You've got big celebrations in the cities as well, away from the coast. So one of the big ones is in Sao Paulo on Avenida Paulista. So over 1 million people go to that celebration as well, with lots of fireworks and music events. And then that's repeated in many other cities as well. Now, another thing that separates New Year's celebrations in Brazil compared to Sweden and the UK and many other countries is all the traditions that Brazilians have. So one of the most notable traditions is the fact that majority of Brazilians, they wear white on New Year's Eve. And I mean practically everyone. So men wear white shirts and trousers, and women wear white dresses and skirts and so on. And this tradition stems back to Afro-Brazilian religion, and specifically the goddess of the sea, Iemanjá. And so they believe wearing white brings peace and good luck for the new year. So I think it's a really nice tradition. I think it looks really cool, everyone wearing white, and it's something that I've started doing as well. But that isn't the only tradition with clothing. A lot of Brazilians as well wear underwear with specific colors. So many believe that if you wear yellow underwear on New Year's Eve, that will bring prosperity in the new year. And if you wear red, it brings love. And I think a few other colors represent other things. But my experience is that most people, I think, wear red or yellow because those two represent, I think, the two of the most important things in people's lives: earning more money and finding love. And then there's many other traditions. So one that I see a lot is Pular Sete Ondas. And so what that involves is that after the fireworks are finished at midnight, people go to the beach and they jump 7 waves. And you need to make a wish after every jump. And this is again linked to the goddess of the sea, Iemanjá. And these wishes that you make will come true in the new year. And then there's lots of traditions around food as well. So one very common is eating lentils on New Year's Eve. So I think this is something that comes from the Italian culture. And again, if you eat lentils on New Year's Eve, that will bring prosperity for the new year. Now, I'll be honest, I'm not a big fan of lentils. But I do eat a bit on New Year's Eve, just to make sure that I have a prosperous next year. And then also another thing is that Brazilians don't like to eat poultry on New Year's Eve, because apparently the chickens, they kind of walk backwards somehow. Still haven't quite understood. I think it's the fact that they kick back with their legs or something, which apparently is not good. And so Brazilians like to eat pork or fish on New Year's because they're going forwards rather than backwards somehow. And yeah, my wife likes to follow this tradition as well. So usually we eat pork on New Year's Eve, and yeah, I'm a big fan of pork and fish, so I have no problems with that. And actually in Sweden, we have a tradition to eat lobster or fish on New Year's Eve. So maybe there is a connection between the two cultures about what to eat on New Year's Eve. And then another tradition which my wife makes me do is that when the clock strikes midnight on New Year's, then I have to take my first step with my right foot. So you start off the new year on your right foot. Again, it's to do with good luck and prosperity. So again, that's another thing that I've started doing on New Year's. And then there are many others as well. If there are any Brazilians watching this, please put it in the commentary, other things that you do. But those are the major ones that we follow. But one thing that stood out for me, comparing Sweden and the UK to Brazil, is that people here in Brazil, I mean, they drink and they have fun and so on, but it doesn't turn into this crazy, completely drunk, chaotic celebrations that can happen in Sweden and in the UK, with, you know, you just see people lying on the streets, people throwing up, fights happening. My impression is that here in Brazil, it's just a bit more civilized. People don't get as drunk here. Brazil. Now, obviously, there are problems at certain parties and celebrations in Brazil, that's for sure. But anyway, my impression is it's not a general thing, which it kind of is in the UK and Sweden. But saying that, there are some problems with New Year celebrations. Like I already mentioned, there can be traffic chaos on the streets, traveling to the cities at the beach, and then also on the way back, you know, 1 or 2 days after New Year's as well, that can be total chaos. And then also in a lot of these smaller beach towns and cities, the infrastructure isn't the best. So when you get this massive influx of people, sometimes you can have a shortage of water. So suddenly you don't have any water in your taps. And then also it can be some blackouts as well, because the demand for electricity is too high, and so the network can't cope with it. And that's happened to me a couple of times. I mean, thankfully it's pretty short, but it's not the best when you're trying to cook or you're trying to get ready for the party and suddenly there's no water and no electricity. That's definitely not the case in all places. It's just in certain specific towns and cities. And then also you just need to be careful of crime as well. I mentioned it in Rio de Janeiro and Copacabana. There you need to be super careful. I mean, I think I stuck my wallet down my underpants or something to protect them when I was there. But in other beaches, it's not as bad as that. But you always need to be careful. You need to look out. And also you read about houses and apartments being burgled as well during this time of the year, because everyone's a bit more relaxed, or maybe they don't close the gate properly, or so that's another thing you just need to be aware of. I mean, what I personally do now is now that I've experienced New Year celebrations in the big cities and everything, what I do now is I go to the smaller beaches in Santa Catarina, which are a lot less chaotic. I mean, it's still lots of people, but it's a lot more calmer. There aren't any big music festivals or big fireworks at these beaches, so it's a lot more family orientated, a lot calmer, and that's more my kind of thing. Just having a small kind of intimate New Year's party with some friends and family, and then afterwards just going to the beach and then just looking at the fireworks from the other bigger cities nearby. And for me, that's just how I like it these days. So if you like this video, please leave a like, subscribe. If you've got any questions or anything, leave in the commentary below. So thanks for watching. Until next time.